Hello there, welcome to our guide on the best rated blenders. This product comparison will cover absolutely everything you need to know about buying the best kitchen blender possible. Now, I've done my fair bit of smoothie making and soup blending over the years, so hopefully I can impart some of my kitchen know-how to you. Whether you're a mixologist, a fitness enthusiast, a pro chef, or just someone who appreciates a good smoothie or puree, my list of the best blenders for the money has got something for everyone. You'll find the links to each of them in the description below. Now, let's get into the rundown. If you're eyeing a versatile, robust blender for everyday use, this gem of a product from KitchenAid might just be your match. Having a top-rated blender like the K400 on your kitchen counter will be a game changer for your morning smoothie routine. Its ability to tackle frozen fruits, as well as stubborn kale and almonds, is impressive, ensuring you get a silky smooth blend every time. The personal blending jar is a star performer. It's like this little chap just understands how rushed mornings can be. You just whip up a smoothie, pop on the lid, and off you go. Now, the weight of the blender is often the first thing people notice. It's a sturdy unit, giving it a premium feel whilst also asserting itself on the kitchen counter. This heftiness does suggest durability, which for me is a reassuring trait. It's a piece of kit that feels built to last, which does somewhat justify the price point, in my opinion. One thing that I'm particularly fond of, and not because I'm lazy, I promise, is the self-cleaning feature. A drop of soap, some water, and it virtually takes care of itself, a blessing for those dash out the door days. So, the pros are that it effortlessly handles tough ingredients, which for me is why the K400 is such a good blender. It's also ideal for on-the-go smoothies with the personal jar, making it a breeze to whip up your favorite shake or smoothie. And finally, the simplified cleaning with a self-clean cycle is a game changer when it comes to washing away any mess, let me tell you. Now the cons, it's slightly heavier than some alternatives, which is only really a problem if you're a frail senior. Because let's be honest, the heaviness of this unit is because of its durable materials. Also, it's not the most budget-friendly option, so if you just want to do, basic blending tasks, then you can definitely get by with something cheaper, like a Ninja blender. More on those in a minute. Next up, the Magic Bullet 11-piece set. For those needing a quick fix for their blending and processing chores, this handy little kitchen mate is definitely one of the best kitchen blenders that you can buy. Last week, I just had a go with the Magic Bullet to whip up a morning smoothie, and it was super easy. True to its name, this little gadget powered through my fruit and yogurt like a champ, producing a silky, smooth beverage without any hassle. What more could I ask for? Its design is rather clever too. I could drink straight from the provided cup, which saved me a bit of washing up. That always makes me happy. Dynamic it may be, but it's not without its quirks. I tried to crush some ice, and while it got the job done, it did sound like it was in a bit of a strop. So, if you're after a quiet life, this chap might ruffle your feathers. But this device really works for those of us who find kitchen chores a bore. When my friends came around for a party the other week, I used the party mug to make some cocktails, and it was a hit. Cleanup afterwards was a breeze as well. Just detached the blade and popped it all in the dishwasher. The Magic Bullet is a top choice if you're after simplicity and speed in the kitchen. No wonder it's the best home blender for those with more moderate blending needs. Now, the pros are that it whizzes up drinks and meals in no time, which is great if you want that bit of speed in your smoothie life. Also, it's super easy to clean, being dishwasher safe. And finally, the compact design doesn't hog the worktop space, which is ideal if you want to move away from bulky blenders that weigh a ton. As for the cons, due to its small size, the Magic Bullet may struggle with tougher ingredients, or it might just take a bit longer. Obviously, being compact, it has a limited capacity, not suited for large batches, so it's probably not the best blender to buy for larger families. And yeah, as I said, it can be noisy during use, but the sound really isn't that bad, certainly no worse than a standard blender. The number 5 blender on my list is the Hamilton Beach Power Elite, which is one of the top rated blenders for those on a budget. If you're on the hunt for a blender that doesn't break the bank, yet turns out top-notch smoothies and crushes ice like a pro, this one's a solid bet. Having used the Hamilton Beach Power Elite blender just this morning to blitz a berry smoothie, I was reminded of how it easily crushed the frozen fruit in ice. The wave action system keeps everything whirring smoothly, making sure no rogue chunks are left behind. What struck me next was the cleaning. After previous blenders that were a nightmare to scrub, the dishwasher-friendly jar, lid, and blades here are a refreshing change. You just rinse it and stack it in the dishwasher. This blender spout deserves praise, too. As I found during my blender test, it's engineered to allow a neat pour straight into the glass, which means I'm not left with dribbles and spills all over my countertop. But I must admit, when I challenged it with nuts and fibrous vegetables, it didn't quite match the efficiency of the more expensive models I've tried. Still, the Hamilton Beach Power Elite is definitely a high-quality blender, but I wouldn't call it commercial grade. Initial uses did have me grapple with the lid a bit. It was quite stiff, but as with most new things, it just needed a bit of breaking in. Now, it seals smoothly and surely every time. Despite these little niggles, for its price and performance, this blender has earned its spot on my kitchen counter. So the pros are that it makes smooth blends with the wave action system, which is really impressive for the price. It also cleans up easily thanks to dishwasher-safe parts, but to be honest, so do all the blenders on this list. Finally, it offers convenient pouring with its well-designed spout, which really does help to minimize mess. As for the cons, I found that the Hamilton Beach was slightly inefficient with some of the more heavy-duty blending tasks, but for most people, it still gets the job done. Also, some users report a stiff lid initially, but as I said, this eases over time, and now the blender works pretty much flawlessly for me. Taking the number 4 spot on my best countertop blender list is the Vitamix Pro 7 and 50, which is ideal for both commercial and home use. I reckon anyone serious about their blending game will find the Vitamix Pro 750 a powerhouse that's worth the spin. Having recently whipped up a morning smoothie with this unit, I was impressed by its powerful approach to crushing frozen fruit. Smoothies come out velvety, and it's plain sailing to get there. A few buttons and you're done. It's quite possibly the best blender in the world, if money is no object, but for day-to-day use, most people will be better off with a cheaper Vitamix model. More on that in a second. When I ventured into soup-making territory, the Vitamix Pro 750 brought its A game, delivering steaming hot, silky smooth soup straight from the jug. Its ability to handle hot liquids without a fuss is remarkable. Venturing into the world of homemade nut butter, I found the variable speed control incredibly useful. Starting slowly and ramping up to full power, I achieved dreamy, creamy almond butter with no sweat. Cleanup was a piece of cake too, just a drop of soap and some warm water, and the machine pretty much took care of itself. Safe to say, this blender has earned its spot on my kitchen counter. It's versatile, and although it's an investment, it's one that feels justified with every use. So, the main pros are that it's super robust and efficient, tackling tough ingredients without a hitch. Any pro chef would be happy with the Vitamix Pro 750. It also cleans up a breeze with its self-cleaning function, which really takes the hassle out of making smoothies, shakes, and soups. Also, the pre-programmed settings are a godsend for consistency. Vitamix really know what they're doing here. Now, for the cons, and I think you can probably guess what I'm going to say, it's pricey and it might be a tad overkill if you're not a frequent blender. Honestly, most people don't need a Vitamix, but if you love blending a smoothie as I do, it's certainly worth the investment. Also, it's bulky, so it might not suit smaller kitchens. But then again, without the bulk, the Vitamix Pro 750 wouldn't be such a beast, so the size certainly isn't in vain. Checking in at number 3 is the highly rated Cleanblend commercial blender, which is a top blender for those seeking quality without the need to take out a bank loan for their blender. I reckon if you're after a blender that can handle anything from hot soups to ice cream, the Cleanblend commercial blender is a great choice. After giving the Cleanblend a whirl, it's clear that this machine is a bit of a powerhouse. The motor barely flinches no matter what I throw into the jug. Ice, nuts, and fibrous veggies transform into smooth liquid in seconds. Honestly, the Cleanblend commercial blender is a joy to own. I'd say it's like 85% as good as Vitamix. As other blender ratings have noted as well, cleaning up after is a breeze as well. Despite the complex tasks it performs, the pitcher cleans up nicely with a quick rinse, no hassle with disassembly every time. A godsend for someone who loathes washing up as much as I do. I must admit though, the Cleanblend commercial blender is a hefty unit, and it looked massive next to my Magic Bullet. And while I appreciate its sturdy build for stability during use, it does need a fair chunk of space. But given the performance, it's a compromise many people are willing to make. For anyone serious about blending, whether it's for business or personal health kicks, this machine is worth the investment. The pros are that it annihilates ice, nuts, and frozen fruits without breaking a sweat. And yes, I'm being metaphorical here, blenders don't sweat to my knowledge. It's also whisper quiet compared to other blenders in its class, which is useful if you're whipping up an early morning shake. And of course, it's built like a tank, it's robust and durable, which is important if you're seeking a quality product that will actually stand the test of time. Now for the cons, if you can call them that, it takes up more space than your average blender. But obviously the trade-off here is that with size comes durability and features. And honestly, it's not so big that it gets in the way, so I wouldn't personally say the size is an absolute negative of the Cleanblend commercial blender. Finally, although it doesn't cost as much as a Vitamix, it's not the cheapest option on the market either. So again, if all you want to do is make a smoothie here or there, you can certainly get by with something cheaper. Now for the runner-up. Some of you probably knew it was only a matter of time until there was a Ninja blender on this list of blender reviews, so here it is, the Ninja Professional Blender. Having recently given the Ninja Professional Blender a whirl, I must say that it punches well above its weight when it comes to blending. I tossed in some frozen berries and kale, and it blitzed them into a perfectly smooth shake in no time at all. The sheer power is impressive. 1000 watts means it doesn't flinch at even the toughest ingredients. The massive 72-ounce pitcher is a true lifesaver if you're making smoothies or frozen drinks for all your family and friends. You can whip up a batch of delicious smoothie mixture that keeps everyone happy without needing to blend multiple batches. It's the centerpiece of the kitchen, and everyone will want to know where you got it. Now, the noise can be a bit much, especially when everything's quiet in the morning. And truth be told, it's not the smallest gadget on the countertop, but it makes up for it with its power. Despite these slight niggles, I reckon the pros far outweigh the cons. So the pros are that it absolutely annihilates ice and tough fruit in the blink of an eye, which is so useful when you're working with tough ingredients. Also, you can make big batches of smoothies in one go with the large pitcher, which really does make the Ninja Professional Blender great value for money. And like any of the best blender brands, the Ninja Blender is a piece of cake to clean too. Now for the cons, it's a bit loud for my morning smoothie routine, but then again, you can't have power without some noise. And honestly, this is a trade-off that you're going to have with any blender. Also, it's not a deal breaker by any means, but it does take up a fair bit of counter space. So if you have a small kitchen, you might have to think about which kitchen gadgets you need the most. Finally, and I'm nitpicking here, it could have more speed settings, but really for the price, the Ninja Professional Blender is probably the best blender on the market in its price range. So, what is the best blender to buy? Based on my testing and all the blender reviews that I've read, the Vitamix 5200 is the best blender for everything. I've just whipped up a smoothie with the Vitamix 5200 and the texture was absolutely spot on. We're not just talking about the occasional frothy drink. This workhorse tackles everything from hot soups to nut butter without batting an eyelid. It feels like it could go on for years, and given the brand's reputation for longevity, I wouldn't be surprised if it did. You know, people have actually owned their Vitamixes for decades, and honestly, given how sturdy the Vitamix 5200 is, I expect to hand it down to my children. And let me tell you, cleaning up after blending has always been a headache for me, but with this one, it's arguably the simplest bit. Some warm water, a drop of dish soap, and it's sparkling clean in under a minute. No fiddly bits to dismantle, which is a relief. Sure, it's a bit of a tank in size, and it takes up more room than I'd like on my countertop, but given the quality on offer, I'm more than happy to make extra room. But I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first got it, the price made me gulp. But considering how much I've used it, it's turned out to be worth every penny. Plus, if I ever do encounter a snag, the customer service experiences I've read about are super reassuring. Now for the pros, the Vitamix 5200 is robust and durable, ideal for frequent use in all kinds of blending activities. Also, the cleanup is so easy, a quick whiz with soap and water does the job better than my dishwasher. And what I really like about the Vitamix 5200 is that it's versatile enough to tackle hot soups to nut butters, which is where cheaper blenders often fall short. As for the cons, it's an investment, so it might pinch your pocket initially. Also, although the Vitamix 5200 is undeniably amazing, some people don't need such a powerhouse if they're only making basic shakes and smoothies. Finally, it's bulky, so it takes up a fair bit of counter space. But considering how versatile the Vitamix 5200 is, I think the size is more than justified. So those are the best rated blenders on the market today. You can't go wrong with any of these blenders, but depending on your budget and preferences, you'll probably have a couple of standout picks for your favorite product. Let me know in the comments which blender is your favorite. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe even consider subscribing as well. Thanks for watching, and have fun with your blender.